What's up, y'all? Hope everybody is well. I just wanted to drop this quick note for folks that are new here. I know, recognize, I haven't done a welcome or a catch up or a formal greeting to anybody in a really long time. And I realize there might be a lot of folks following me who are just jumping in the game. And so let me catch you up a little bit about who I am and what I'm about. I imagine you picked up some of it. But anyway, I'm Sonia Renee Taylor. I'm an author. I'm an activist. I'm an artist. I'm, an educator. I'm a friend. I'm a human doing this human journey. I'm the founder and radical executive officer of The Body's Non-Apology, a digital media and education company committed to cultivating radical self-love through the exploration of identity, body, and social justice. And yeah, whatever. And I talk a lot of shit about systems and structures and the downfall of systems of body terrorism. And I currently reside in Aotearoa, New Zealand, but born and raised in the U.S. In a multitude of locations. I move around a lot. There are a couple of principles, practices, things that I think are important to know. If you're here, it's probably because I do this thing called What's Up Y'all videos, like the one you're watching right now, that are reflections, that are my reflections of the world and what I believe is necessary for us to have a more just, equitable, and compassionate world. How do we defeat issues of white supremacist delusion, capitalism, patriarchy, ableism, queer and transphobia, fat phobia, ageism, all the ways in which oppression and systems of bodily hierarchy seek to distance us from our inherent divinity and seek to have us participate in the upholding of systems of oppression. That's what I do. That's my work. And I do that via writing books. I do that via talking like I'm talking to y'all right now. I do that via, sharing my ideas and speaking engagements and those sorts of things. And there are a couple of things about sort of how this work works that I think is important to know. First is everything I'm saying is a continuation of a conversation. One, first of all, that I did not begin. A continuation of a conversation that began long before me. And so my first piece of advice is if I'm talking about an issue that you're exploring, I'm talking about something that my forebearers and my ancestors have already talked about, written about, spoken about, did whatever, wrote a song about, whatever medium of expression existed, they've done something about it. And so I invite you to get into the historical voices around issues of oppression, and not just the people who are easily to access in your Instagram feed. One of the things that I talk about a lot is like, what does it mean to actually have to do something different, to do some work, right? And coming here and listening to my What's Up Y'all videos is not work, love bugs. It's not. Sorry. I know it might feel really good, like I'm doing a lot of work, but it's not work. Because the work is what you do with the information you learn, and the work is the seeking of additional information. Work is work. And if I just showed up while you were scrolling, you didn't have to do anything for that. I just popped up on your thing and told you some shit. It's not work. The application is work, and then the seeking of deeper knowledge is work. So seeking deeper knowledge and applying it out in the world, that's work. And so when I say, like this is going to require work, that's what I mean. And so I really invite you to not stop here, but to go backwards. Who else has been talking about these issues? Who was talking about them in the 60s? Who was talking about them in the early 1900s? Who was talking about them in the middle of slavery, as, or in the middle of the inception of whatever movement it is I'm talking about. So that's one. And also, whatever I'm saying, it didn't just start with the video you're watching now. I come back to the same themes. I deepen, I talk more about them. So I really invite you, if you just sort of started following in the last year, I invite you to scroll all the way back. I started doing What's Up, Y'all about 2 years ago. And I've been talking about these issues for a really long time. I invite you to visit thebodyisnotanapology.com and read our articles. We've been publishing content since 2015 about issues of oppression and the intersection of identity, bodies, and social justice. I really encourage you to go and check out that work. It's free. You can go and just read it and deep dive into it. And then lastly, the exchange that I ask for, I ask us to think about the ways in which we engage with this kind of content differently than the way society would have you engage, which is, right, I come places, I learn things on the internet, and I go on about my business, and I never actually think about the reciprocity of relationship, right? That the truth of the matter is, if you come here to watch my videos, it's because you do feel like you're learning something. There is information you are learning. There's something you're getting from me. And right relationship says, if I get something from someone, I would like to be in a relationship of reciprocity with them, right? And so what does reciprocity look like? Particularly inside of a system of white supremacist delusion, capitalism, and patriarchy, those systems are designed for extraction. They're systems that are designed to take and take and take and take and take and take and take, and never actually think about the impact of what they're taking or what they're taking from might need in return for its own balance, sustenance, nourishment, well-being, whether that be humans or the planet, right? And so in order to interrupt that dynamic, I encourage you to think about what reciprocity would look like. What does it look like to be in right relationship? If you receive something, what is it that you intentionally give in return for that? If you're learning from disabled folks, Black folks, fat folks, indigenous folks, aging folks, queer folks, trans folks, how are you sowing a seed in their life? How are you returning some modicum of what it is you've taken? Right? And so I offer that you think about how to be in right relationship with me and with what you take from me. And so there are easy ways to do that. You can totes Venmo me at Sonya Renee Taylor. You can PayPal me at SonyaRenee@gmail.com. You can become a patron on my Patreon account, which is also Sonya Renee Taylor. All of those links are in my bio. And they are ways in which you can routinize right relationship. I don't desire to operate inside of the way that capitalism usually works, which is that, right, the person who provides the service decides what the price is based off of the market. Right? That's whack to me. What I'd rather have is an experience of relationship where you assess what it is that you've received. You assess what it is that you have in terms of your own resources, and then you assess what is the exchange that is based on right relationship. And I trust that if you desire to be in right relationship with me, I will be sustained. When we desire to be in right relationship with each other, I believe we will be sustained. And so I invite you to think about what that is for you, and then show up to this relationship in that way. The links for all those things are in my bio. Again, go back, check out the old videos. If you got a question, I probably already answered it in a video because I talk a lot. So go back and check it out. And yeah, I'm sending you a lot of love. Thanks for following. Go buy my book, The Body is Not an Apology, The Power of Radical Self-Love, and the workbook, Your Body is Not an Apology workbook, is out in 2 weeks. So holler at that too.